Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology. Right now, I'm going to ramble along quite a bit, unfortunately, about the Trump trade war. Trump's trade war is doing a huge amount of damage to the global economy. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The impacts may not finish playing out for 10 or 20 years. It is that disruptive. There's companies that are moving their plants in the United States. There's companies that are moving their plants out of the United States. There's companies that are moving their plants to Mexico or Canada because they don't want to be in the United States, but they want to be close. There are companies who are basically sitting there going, we have no idea what to do. And considering the circumstances, it's impossible to blame them. The disruption is going to continue, unfortunately. If you're lucky, your country will still show growth. Right now, Canada is showing growth. As a matter of fact, our manufacturing sector was the second highest growing sector of all, resources being first. But that's now. What's it going to be like next month? Who knows? You know, this is the Trump economy. Trump owns this. Every single major disruption in trade is being caused by Washington. Well, I say every single major one. Yeah, the Chinese have done a few things too, but the main thing is the Chinese were responding to the U.S. So, what's going to happen? Honest truth, I really have no idea. I mean, there's going to be a lot of shifts because people are going to be moving plants. There's going to be people who are basically holding on to their hat and hoping that things cool off eventually. Every business out there is going to have to sit down and make its own decisions. Some businesses are going to make the right decisions and will grow. Some will make the wrong decisions and crash. Others, well, they'll be somewhere in the middle. Problem is that nobody has any idea who's going to be where. And for example, right now, my personal take is that the stock market is closer to a casino than anything else, because I think a lot of stuff there is probably fairly highly overvalued. Too much money chasing too few things, in other words. Folks, I wish I could tell you exactly what's going on here. I really do. I can't. There's too much happening at once. There's too many factors at play. And anybody who's constantly asserting to you that this is going to happen or that is going to happen is, in my opinion, a total bullshit artist. That's just the way it is. I mean, there are things I know are likely to happen. Like, as I said, I'm expecting the Russian Federation to run out of fuel fairly shortly. That's a relatively safe estimate to make because, well, I'm watching Ukraine's hits on the refinery infrastructure and the pumping stations and everything else. They are doing a hell of a lot of damage, and they're doing it faster than the Russians can repair it. As a matter of fact, some of it the Russians can't repair because it used technology that they don't have access to anymore, and that China doesn't have access to either, nor Iran, nor North Korea. That's one of the things that people miss about China. They say we're locked into the Chinese manufacturing model. No, we aren't. We didn't have a Chinese manufacturing model 30 years ago. We weren't locked in then. Let's face it, things will shift. If people decide that China is no longer a good place to do business, companies will move out. Just the way it works. Companies are self-interested. Basically, you could think of them as, in a lot of ways, as being very similar to a sociopath. They have no morals, just a profit motive. Or maybe you want to think of them as a house cat. House cats have no morals either, but they sure love killing things. Ask the mice. So, I can't tell you precisely what's going to happen. I can tell you there's going to be a hell of a lot more disruption. And if I were you, I would try and make sure that you are in as solid a financial situation as possible. Now, I know that's going to be difficult as hell, as a matter of fact, practically impossible in some circumstances, but that's just the way it is. And sorry, my idiot dog is barking at another doggy because he's an idiot. Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, I think that pretty well covers the situation as best I can right now. I'm watching things. I'm going to keep on watching things, and I will continue to post on this stuff. I will give you as accurate information as I can think I can. Yeah, I'm going to get stuff wrong. It happens. I'm human, mostly. Well, human with a few electronic add-ons anyways. So, I guess that's all I can say for now. Like, share, subscribe, and all that guff. You got something out of it, and have a good day, folks. Bye-bye.